if Jah is standing by my side.
Court of Appeal rules Paula Llewellyn remains Jamaica's DPP.
Well, it looked like Jah is standing by Paula's side and she's a rebel. But what does this mean for Vybz Kartel? You know what? Let's jet into this story. Welcome to Jet. So first and foremost, before we get into how the then, now future DPP Paula Llewellyn was reinstated and whether this may have any impact on Mr. Vybz Kartel, give thanks to Yahweh and to Yahushua. Yes man, 8 months ago, my colleague report on why the DPP may have been removed and who benefit from it. 43,000 of you viewed the video, engaged in the debate and had your say. Now the DPP is to be reinstated. It is important to look at the backdrop of my colleague's report. Now this is Jet's second in command reporting. Watch this.
Yes, man. Paula Llewellyn has been the DPP for many years. She is the first and maybe the longest serving DPP in Jamaica's history.
News came on Tuesday that opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips did not want the tenure of DPP Paula Llewellyn to be extended. In his words, I have the most strenuous objection.
I have made a recommendation to His Excellency the Governor General for the extension of the service of the DPP for 3 years.
The 64-year-old has been one of the most attacked, vilified DPP in the history of Jamaica's high office, especially in the Vybz Kartel case. But why? Is this because she's incompetent, competent, or just a tough cookie and back down from no fight?
The witness stood up to at least 6 days of grilling from the learned defense counsel, and he was not shaken.
Or is it because she is onto something? For those in high places exposing others, including taking the fight to Kartel. Is this the reason for her removal? Or is it obvious, as some may claim? Well, the court ruled that it is unconstitutional for her to continue.
The Supreme Court has ruled as null and void the amendments to the Constitution, which increased the retirement age for the holders of the offices of Director of Public Prosecutions.
This court has ruled that Section 2(1) of the Act is constitutional. Section 2(1) of the Act has amended the Constitution as regards the retirement age of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Section 2(2) of the Act is not a valid section and is severed from the Constitution because the process remains unchanged for extending the retirement age. Section 2(2) is unconstitutional, null, void, and of no legal effect.
Yes man, the lowest court in the land, the Supreme Court, ruled that Paula cannot continue. Go and go sit down, Paula. What? Hey, you just say, yeah, old man. No disrespect, Paula, I don't mean that. I'm just paraphrasing what I think the court was saying. Go and go sit down, man. What you mean you want to continue? Those who took the fight to Paula was not surprising to many, and this was the reason. Watch this.
Always said that this was not about Miss Llewellyn, and it's more to do with our fundamental belief and respect for the Constitution.
Is it really the Constitution, or is she too old to serve in office? There are plenty of people serving office into later years, you know.
It's not unusual for the DPP to serve more than their time in office in other jurisdictions. Although Jamaica is the longest by many standards, it is also not unusual for the pension age to increase. Jet disagree with the pension age increasing as a whole, but the government, who is sovereign, has a right to change the laws. The Constitution allows the Jamaican government to alter the Constitution to allow staff to continue to serve in office.
Under the Constitution, a DPP cannot serve after age 60 unless their tenure is extended, but it should not last for more than 5 years. Mrs. Llewellyn turns 60 in September. The Governor General may extend the period before the DPP turns 60, acting on the recommendation of the Prime Minister after after consultation with the leader of the opposition.
Jamaica oldest MP in office served while he was 86 years. The oldest worker in history was 102. The US president is in his 80s and others close to him. So what is the fuss?
Well, the fuss is, Jet second in command, that while Paula was in office, certain individual wouldn't have been released from prison because she was serious and strong and would be the stopgap from certain release. And then Jet put out a video to ask the question whether Miss Llewellyn could have come back in any sort of form or capacity, including come back as DPP, because the government said that they were going to appeal, and Jet prediction was correct.
Miss Llewellyn may have been swapped, but she could make a comeback. Yes, man, return, but in what capacity? Jet will get into how the DPP could return in a minute, but first, let's have a look at when the nation was informed.
As the debate intensifies as to whether Paula Llewellyn can return as Director of Public Prosecutions DPP, an acting DPP has been appointed to the post.
Now, Ms. Llewellyn has indicated she's unable to continue carrying out her functions due to the ambiguity and uncertainty of Friday's ruling by the Constitutional Court.
The court ruled that Ms. Llewellyn's extension last year was, quote, unconstitutional, null, and of no legal effect, and the government says it will appeal the decision.
And appeal they did, while Jet's second in command gave a report to highlight some of the ways in which Paula could have appealed, and some of those ways included that she won the appeal, and indeed they did.
How could Paula return or have influence in legal affairs in Jamaica? The government may challenge the decision by the Constitutional Court's ruling recently. Paula may still call the shots in the background and be consulted regularly to give advice. She could join the government and work as a justice advisor or become an MP. This would definitely take the pressure off her with the attack she gets from the Gaza fans since the Kartel case. But her influence may be effective. Do you think Biden makes all his decisions? Do you think the Congress members and MPs' decisions are not influenced by lobbyists and donors? Think again. So you think this may be the end of Paula? Have another think. So the Gozo or Obia may not have had much effect because Miss Llewellyn may return in some form or capacity because
if Jah is standing by my side, why should Paula Vanessa Llewellyn be afraid? And you notice I stopped it right at afraid.
Well, it wasn't the end of Paula in no shape or form, because Paula is a rebel. Yes, man, a rebel indeed, that has no fear, no afraid at all. Paula not afraid of nobody. She quoted Tony Rebel's song, "If Jah is standing by my side, then why should I be afraid of the pestle?" You know what? Just leave that alone, because I don't want to get into the singing, you know. But yes, Paula Llewellyn is to return to the DPP's office.
We begin with news that a judge has ruled that Paula Llewellyn remains as Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecution. The ruling was made a short while ago in the Court of Appeal. Our legal correspondent, Dion Jackson Miller, has the details. Dion?
Thanks so much, Shemela. The ruling was made by a three-member panel of the Court of Appeal, and I just want to remind your listeners a little bit, because to understand where we are, we have to remember what it was at stake. The DPP, Ms. Llewellyn, was supposed to retire in 2020 when she reached the age of 60. That's what the Constitution had said at the time. She asked for and she got a 3-year extension. Before she came to the age of 63, she asked for another extension. She was told, no, the Constitution didn't allow it. So the government, I should say, at that point or a little later, had passed an amendment to the Constitution to raise the age of retirement for the DPP as well as the Auditor General from 60 to 65, which is the age that's now generally used in the public sector. But what that act also did was make provision for Ms. Llewellyn to elect to retire at any point after the age of 60. Now, the opposition objected to that because they said, hold on, the DPP has already got an extension. She should now be limiting office. And the Supreme Court ruled that the part of the act that raised the retirement age from 60 to 65 was fine. But they said Ms. Llewellyn, that's the Supreme Court, couldn't benefit from that because what the new legislation was doing was to essentially allow her to choose when to retire, when what the Constitution says is that that decision should be made by the leader of the opposition and the Prime Minister, and a recommendation from the Prime Minister to the Governor General. The Court of Appeal has now disagreed with the Supreme Court. They said yes, they agreed with the Supreme Court that the part of the act raising the retirement age is fine, but they disagreed with the Supreme Court that it doesn't apply to Ms. Llewellyn. They have said that the extension, the raised retirement age automatically applies to Ms. Llewellyn, and that is why she remains in office.
So there you have it. Paula Llewellyn is to continue as DPP in office. But should Philip Palwell worried because he was one of the orchestrators behind bringing down Paula Llewellyn, and maybe he's disappointed? Should the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, be worried because he has gotten himself into a lot of trouble recently, and who knows what if there are any implications for any allegations made against him may come and drop on the DPP's office? Or should he be satisfied and laughing that, you know what, the DPP, I extend your time, come on man, I scratch your back, you scratch mine, hey, look, drop them case, hey, drop them case them man, hey, just speculating, we don't know. Should Vybz Kartel be worried? Well, to be honest, Jet sees no reason why Vybz Kartel should be worried. He's already freed. There's nothing Paula Llewellyn could do. And the question remains on a lot of people's lips. Was Paula Llewellyn removed in order for Mr. Kartel to be freed? Yes, man. We have heard that the DPP is to return to office. And a lot of people are unsatisfied and a lot of people are satisfied. You know what, in life we can't please everybody. So what is your view? Do you believe that it was a good ruling? Would you have liked to see Paula return to office? Is she a tough cookie and she's a no-nonsense woman? Or you think she's too old, man, long gone, man? Come on, give some fresh legs, somebody young and fresh and a chance to carry on the mantle. I mean, some people have said that the new DPP was young and inexperienced and she didn't do a good job in such man case and such delight. And some people are saying, well, bring some fresh legs in, and Paula has served her time. Should Brogard be worried or should he be happy? Should Mr. Palwell be worried because he lost and he may look bad on his reputation, or should he be happy? Is there something sinister going on? Write your comments below, man, and let's have a discussion about this. For those of you who've forgotten to subscribe, please remember to touch the like button, smash the subscribe button, touch up the bell, and remember to share with your friends and family. So here we are going now. We're going to jet off,